Do you want to make enough money investing in real estate that you can leave your job? In today's video, I'm going to show you a framework that you must follow and an example of how you can achieve financial freedom in just 2 real estate deals. So let's get started. Traditional real estate, that is buying a home and renting it to tenants on a yearly basis, has been around for thousands of years, and it's made plenty of landlords very wealthy. But the world today is really different. Homes are expensive and they can be hard to make any money off of long-term rentals. And what's more, the supply of available homes does not meet the demand, so homes for sale that are at the right price to allow you to profit are really hard to come by. But still, people pursue long-term rentals as an investment strategy because it's passive, meaning the property doesn't take much work after you rent it if you fixed it up beforehand. And long-term rentals are still popular because no matter what's happening with the world, people always need a place to live. Thinking about it this way, the framework for a long-term rental is that it's guaranteed, but a slow path to wealth. It's passive and it's low risk. Typically, a long-term rental will net the landlord anywhere from $100 to $300 profit per month per unit. And if you need $10,000 a month to live, that means you need 100 units. And if you're profiting 300, you would need 30 units to meet that income. Basically, you would either have to have a lot of money to acquire that many properties, or you would need a lot of time. And that's not what this video is about. So if you want faster results, then you'll need to adopt a completely different framework. It also has 3 parts, so let's get into the first one. The first part is risk. You're gonna need a strategy that is less guaranteed than long-term rentals, but produces more cash flow. This is where short-term and mid-term rentals come in. A short-term rental is where the average stay is less than 30 days and typically about 3 to 4 days in length. Short-term rentals earn about 3 times more than a long-term rental. If your average 1-bedroom apartment is $1,000, then you can expect about $3,000 gross for that same 1-bedroom as a short-term rental. Midterm stays are in between. Guests are there for at least 30 days, but less than a year, and on average stay for about 9 months. Typically, midterm rentals are 2x a long-term rental. For that same $1,000 1-bedroom, you can expect it to gross $2,000 as a midterm. Of course, short and midterm rentals require more risk tolerance because they're more expensive to set up, where the owner has to furnish and decorate. And you know that I recommend you ensure that you decorate your place really well so that it stands out from the crowd and is in the top 10% of all listings in your area. But it's also riskier because it's less passive. You have to rely on other people to help you run your place. For example, a cleaner who gets your place ready in between stays, a landscaper to take care of the outdoor spaces, a pest control expert to make sure that your home is pest free. But as I believe, the greater the risk, the greater the reward. So the next part of the framework is comfort. You're gonna have to forego comfort if you really wanna juice your real estate investing returns and become financially free after just 2 deals. One way to do this is to get rid of your housing costs altogether through house hacking. This is where you share your home, either rooms in your house or other available spaces on your property, and rent those out on a short or midterm basis. The best way to do this is to buy a 4-unit property using the FHA loan, live in 1 unit, and rent the remainder. Using this strategy, not only will your housing costs be gone, but it will even put money in your pocket each month. You can repeat this strategy every year using the 4-3-2-1 method, where in year 1, you buy a 4-unit through the FHA loan, year 2, a 3-unit, year 3, a 2-unit, and then the 4th year, a single family home. So within 4 years, you would have 9 total doors that you're renting out, and likely earning more than you did it in your job. Now you have to use the 4-3-2-1 strategy because FHA mortgages are not meant for real estate investors, but for owner-occupied buyers. So if you buy a 4-unit, the next year you need to buy a 3-unit and so on, and you can't go the other way. So that's what we're gonna do. Here's an example for what your revenue would look like using this strategy. Assuming your units are a 1-bedroom apartment that will command $3,000 in gross each month. In a 4-unit building where you live in 1, that'll gross $9,000. Assuming you have costs for mortgage, maintenance, repairs, utilities, and internet at $5,000, that leaves a profit of $4,000. The next year you have a triplex and live in 1 unit, that will gross $6,000. Assuming costs of $4,000, your net is $2,000. So in 2 years, you have $6,000 a month, which equates to $72,000 a year. If you have no housing costs and $72,000 a year, I hope you can live off that. But let's say you love this strategy and you want to keep going. So in year 3, you buy a duplex and you live in 1 unit. It grosses $3,000, but it costs $2,500, so your net profit is $500 a month. All told, now you're at $6,500. Now in the 4th year, you buy a single family home and you don't rent out any of it. So let's look at the profits in year 5. Because all of the units in your 3 homes are rented, they're gonna be earning more money since you're not living in them. So let's assume the same cost for each of these units. The 4 unit will have a net of $7,000, the 3 unit a net of $5,000, the 2 unit a net of $3,500. That's a total of $15,500 or $186,000 a year. Keep in mind, my numbers are very simple and they are just to illustrate my point that using this method, you could at least replace your income in 2 years and in 5 years be in the top % of income earners in the United States. Now, before I move on to the final part of this framework, please hit the like button and consider subscribing if you found this video helpful. The final part of this framework to leave your job in 2 real estate deals is you're gonna have to put in more elbow grease. You're gonna have to do more work than you would as a long-term landlord. For example, you should be acting as the property manager for all of your short and midterm rentals. For short-term rentals, this has an added tax benefit as you can then write off your losses against your active income. I'm not a CPA, so you should talk to a qualified accountant if you want more information on this, but it is perfectly legal. As the property manager, you should be in your homes on a regular basis to inspect them for cleanliness and managing repairs, communicating with your guests and your cleaner. But don't worry, today there are plenty of options that allow you to automate most of this work. But do know that you won't be able to do this strategy completely passively. By the way, let me know if you want some tips on how to property manage your short-term rental, and I can cover that in an upcoming video. I also have past videos on how to build wealth with short-term rentals that I'll link at the end of this one. That's it for today's video. Until next time, thank you so much for watching.